Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Clams. I'm Will, we're down here in Key West. So on today's episode, we go out commercial spearfishing for Wahoo on my buddy Aaron's boat. He has a charter down here called Dibs on Bottom Adventures. I picked the shortest straw and I was designated driver, so I didn't get any of the glory. But you always need a driver. He's got to be there to make it happen, and you know, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. We missed a couple, but we hit a couple. So out of the day, I kept just a little bit of a loin to bring home and make ceviche. If you've never had Wahoo, it is in the mackerel family, but I would almost compare it to tuna. It's a very clean eating fish, very, very soft, very, very mild in taste. You want to keep it raw. You don't want to do anything to it. Maybe sear it, maybe do a ceviche, but really it's perfect as is. So enjoy this episode and keep the comments coming, keep the likes coming, keep the subscribing coming. You're really helping me out. This has been really fun so far.
Okay, so it's the next day and I have my Wahoo. And like I said, it's beautiful, translucent white meat. It is a lot like yellowjack. It is a lot like Cero mackerel. Oh, I forgot one very important thing, my knife. Okay, most important part for ceviche. Which is what we're making. We're gonna do a ceviche, and we're gonna do it with lime, lemon. I'm gonna do the supremes from a grapefruit, which is cutting out just the slices, red onion, jalapeno, cilantro, a little bit of sea salt, and red pepper flake. Now, most ceviche, they cut it into small dice-sized cubes, but because this Wahoo is so nice and so perfect, I'm gonna cut it into very big chunks because I don't even want the citrus to cook it all the way through. So for those of you that don't know ceviche, the fish is technically raw, but it is cooked, quote unquote, by the acid of your citrus, and it'll turn an opaque white. But what we're gonna do is cut it nice and thick so that just the outside cooks from the citrus, and the rest is gonna stay raw and beautiful on the inside. So it's almost going to be like a tataki where you just sear the outsides. And also for that reason, I'm not going to let it marinate for too long, because with the normal ceviche, I'd let it go about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours and let it cook all the way through. With this, I'm probably going to let it sit only about maybe an hour tops. And the reason why is because, like I said, I want to marinate it more than cook it. So we're gonna cut nice big chunks like that. Well, maybe about half that size so that you can actually fit it on the fork in your mouth. But yeah, not that big. Now yesterday on the boat I was the driver, so I didn't get the glory of shooting any of the fish, which is okay. I'm fine with not always having the glory, because honestly, if I was in the water, I probably wouldn't have shot a fish. But having those guys in the water, at least I know I'm going home with something. And then the other thing is that usually in ceviches, everything's going to be diced small because the fish is diced small. But what we're going to do is leave everything a little bit on the larger side. So we're not going to dice our jalapeno, we're going to slice it. We're going to slice our red onion rather than dice it. We're going to make it look almost more like a salad than a ceviche. also, very important thing is a sharp knife. Most kitchen accidents and mistakes are because of a dull knife. And a honer, which is the thing that looks like a sword that you see people do that with, that is not a sharpener. Sharpener is a stone, and you have to sharpen your knife on the stone. The honer is exactly what it says. It hones in the blade. But the sharpener is actually putting a new edge on your blade. And that is a huge, huge part of filleting fish and cooking in general, is having the right equipment and the sharpener well maintained. I mean, that is absolutely gorgeous. It doesn't get much better than that. I think I described it as almost like a white tuna. I mean, it just has the most buttery mouthfeel, absolutely light, will take on any dressing you put into it. It is really, really a remarkable fish, and why it's so sought after. And they show up, and everyone here goes crazy, meaning they're not always in the water. So they show up, one person catches one, posts a picture of it, and then everyone, like we did, jumps on the boat and heads out there to go get them. Okay, so like I said, normally I would chop that up and dice it so that it was small little pieces, but this we're going to leave as very thin slices. Now again, this is the kind of thing where you kind of just have to have an eye for your ratios. And then, for those of you who don't know, but I'm sure that you do, what's spicy in the jalapeno is going to be the pith and the seeds. So that, the very end, normally won't be spicy. Put my money where my mouth is. Not very spicy. It has a little bit of spice. So normally I would cut the seeds out, cut the pith out, but I like really spicy food, so I'm going to leave it in there. And again, because we're not dicing it, if it was really spicy, I would take the pith out, because if that were really spicy, that would be one heck of a bite. Okay. Now, grapefruit. Anything like that, I'm going to add the juice into our fish, because all that acid will help cook the fish. So Supreme is just that. So these, cut them in half because they're a pretty decent size. And then squeeze out the juice from this and use the ceviche. So now for my lemon and lime, I usually do a 2-to-1 ratio. And again, I can tell you 2 limes. The problem is that sometimes you get these dinky little limes, you go to juice them and you get 3 drops out of them. So basically, want your fish at least a third covered. I also am realizing that I just cut my prep time a lot by not dicing everything into these small little pieces. So now sea salt, and then my cilantro, same thing. Normally I would cut that up. We're gonna leave this nice big whole pieces. A lot of people are intimidated by fish, and I try to explain to them that if it's something that can be eaten raw, there's not much you have to do to it. Let me grab a little bit of the pepper flakes. Again, we're a spicy house. We like everything spicy. Not running for a glass of water spicy, but definitely a little bit of heat. Alright, we can grab a spoon, mix that up. But right now, that's what we have. And I think I got enough liquid in there. I'm gonna go the other half of that lime, actually. And then when we mix it up, we'll get a good look at it, how it looks, and we'll see if it needs anything more. Meaning, as long as I can see everything in there still, I'll be happy. But if something disappears, then I know I need a couple more pieces of grapefruit or the cilantro or a couple more jalapeno. Give that a stir. We're gonna let that cook or marinade for about an hour, and then we'll meet back here and we'll have our appetizer. That is absolutely beautiful. That Wahoo is unbelievable, and as you can see, it's already starting to cook a little bit. The edges are becoming opaque. All right, gonna get cleaned up, and we'll see you in about an hour. Also, I'm gonna let this marinate in the fridge, obviously. So our ceviche has been cooking about an hour. Let's take a look at that. And like I said, it's not completely opaque. If you were to cut it open, it would still be clear in the middle, so it's almost like searing it. And I think we're ready to eat. Good thing is that we got more dogs. Every recipe needs more dogs. What are you doing?
Come here. Oh. Amazing sailing.
All right.
It's really good, actually. Not too weird at all. Like it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think the big pieces are the key.
Big pieces all the way.
I've never done it this way. I always do the small little dice, whatever. And then, no.
I'm rude.
It also usually takes like a half an hour to 40 minutes to make it. It took like 15 minutes because everything was just big chunks. What do you think? That is, I'm going with that. I'm going with that's good. All right, so not bad for having to drive the boat and not getting to do too much stuff myself. So if you like the recipe, like the episode, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.